Welcome back. Welcome back to From the Shed End. Welcome back to the channel. If you're new, as always, please make sure you hit that subscribe button. Smash the subscribe button. Let me know your thoughts in the comments. Let me know your thoughts. It's been a turbulent couple of days as Chelsea fans. It's been a horrible, horrible couple of days. If you're a Chelsea fan, it has been an absolute nightmare. A nightmare of a week. And what topped it off, what made it even worse, I was in Leeds whilst we were getting battered by Leeds. It was not a good Wednesday afternoon, Wednesday night. But we got to bounce back. We're going to talk about all that. We're going to talk about the mistakes. If I put the video out that I was going to put out Wednesday night, I don't think this channel would still be up. I'll be honest. I don't think the channel will be up. It was poor from us. A poor display. It was a poor display from us. I still can't believe Maresca thought that was the answer. I generally can't believe he thought that was the route to take. That was the thing to do. I honestly can't believe 5 changes. 5 changes. And the worst thing was, the changes, the 5 changes, obviously we knew Caicedo was going to be a big loss. We knew that. That was always going to happen. But the changes that were made, let me pull the lineup up just so we can share this pain together, because I don't think people realize. And I said all this. I remember saying this in the preview. I remember saying, consistently, our back 4 has to be the same. I don't care if you're playing Leeds. I don't care whether you're playing Lichfield Town or Barcelona. You've got to have that cohesion at the back. One play removed from it and another play coming in, and if it's not like for like, you're gonna find problems. You're gonna find problems in the team, and that's what happened to us. That's exactly what happened to us when it did. It's exactly what happened to us when it did. It's just crazy. It's an absolutely crazy, just crazy, just absolute craziness from us. I don't understand why Maresca thought it was a good idea to not have a recognised recognised right back in the team, and why he decided to go with Trevor Chalobah, who has come under scrutiny before. Why did he go for him? Why did he not go for, I don't know, Achiempong, if you want to change things, if you don't want to play Reece? Let's get the lineup up. Let's have a look at this together, because this was the lineup that we went with. Now, Trevor Chalobah at right back is never going to work. And as Chelsea fans, we know that there's an unwritten rule. Whether people want to talk about it, whether people want to be honest about it, there's an unwritten rule. You don't play TOSIN'S and Chalobah and Badiashile together in a back line, because it's never going to work. It's never going to work. I can't believe it. It's never going to work. Why have you got Chalobah and Esteval, who are both very competent in their natural positions, playing on the right side of a team, when you know that Leeds, as you can see, were playing wing backs? So they're going to be bombing up and down, like I said they would on Tuesday. They had 2 in attack, which meant that there was always a player available. We're going to talk about the goals in a minute. We're going to talk about the goals in a second. Big up yourself, Daniel, as well. Daniel in the chat. There has to be. You have to. Surely something as a manager. You had Reece James, Josh Achiempong, and fair enough, Malo Gusto comes on 77 minutes into the game. 45 minutes into the game. Sorry, it's Mark Gui. He comes on at half time with Neto as the 2 subs at half time. But it was never set up correctly. You're not set up correctly in order to win this game. They're playing wing backs. So automatically, you know that you're going to have someone who's naturally comfortable playing as a fullback or right back. Just like you needed someone at left back to deal with Bogle. This is why they won the game. This is literally down to the changes that we made. Obviously, we knew that Caicedo was going to be out. Gittins come in. I thought he played okay. I don't think he had the best of games. He got the assist, great. But these two here, Beavis and Butthead, they have to. I said it. I remember saying it in the preview. They have to do better. I'm even starting to call for Mark Gui to start games. We spent £90 million on 2 players, and I don't think that have they got 10 goals between them. I don't think they have. And I'll be honest, I don't think we should even expect 10 goals between them. I'm expecting 10 goals from Liam Delap on his own. This is not good enough. That's not good enough. That's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's not good enough. It's poor. It's poor from Maresca to make those many changes. And he's done this before. This is not a new thing where he's suddenly come into a game and he's tinkered with things so much that he just disrupts everything. This is why Sanchez, I credit Sanchez, because Sanchez actually was annoyed. Every goal that went in was not Sanchez's fault, but of course, he's going to look like the fall guy for it. We were poor. We were absolutely poor. Poor. Every single goal. And we're going to talk about the goals in a minute, but we were absolutely poor. We were poor. And one thing I want to flag out and touch on is the league table. The league table. This is why when you play a team like Leeds, you have to win the game. You have to win the game. Had we won that game, because Villa are up there now, had we won that game, had we actually won against Arsenal when we had the opportunity to beat Arsenal, we were on top, we should have put that game away. We should have put that game away. Caicedo getting sent off obviously changed things, but had we done that, we would have been talking about a totally different game for Bournemouth. A completely different game for Bournemouth. Now that's all changed because of where we are currently as it stands at the moment. Now, the thing I want to point out, because we keep talking about title challenge, I'm doing it as well, pushing for the league, closing the gap on Arsenal City. We need to start looking behind us. We need to start looking behind us. Look at this here. Let's go from 10th. Everton, 21 points. They're only 3 points behind us. They're only 3 points. So come Monday, we could be sitting where Liverpool are sitting. Now, Sunderland, I think, play City. Villa play Arsenal. So you're hoping Villa can get a win. You're hoping that Sunderland might be able to get a result, especially after the back of the Fulham game midweek against City. You're hoping they might get something from it. But we need to now start thinking about teams going beyond us. Aston Villa have done that. We were second a couple of weeks ago. Now we're sitting fourth and we're looking a bit iffy and shaky. And it's only going to take a good couple of... This is why I talk to a lot of Liverpool fans. And I keep saying to them, you're not actually that far off the top. You look like it because you're ninth. But if we lose to Bournemouth and the likes of Brighton, United, Everton, Liverpool, they get wins. The roles are going to reverse very, very quickly for us. Very quickly. It's mental. It's mental. And the worst thing was, look where Leeds are. Look where Leeds are. Leeds are just, they're not even doing well. They're 17th. We gifted them goals. Every single goal was a gift. Christmas came early for them. We gifted goals. All 3 goals were gifted. They didn't have to work hard. They didn't play well. They didn't play brilliant football. We were just that bad against Leeds. We were that bad. They didn't even turn up. They didn't even need to turn up because we didn't turn up. That's how bad we played against Leeds. That's the poor performance. This is, and look, I mean, obviously the viral video went around from the Sky Sports clip of the girls, the Chelsea fans saying, you know, we worry about the Burnleys and the you know, the lower leagues, the lower ability teams more so than we do against an Arsenal and a Barcelona. She was spot on. She was on the money. She was on the money. Big up Nina. She was on the money. She said it as it is. We do worry about these teams, and rightfully so. And tomorrow's no different. Tomorrow is no different. It's no different. You can't afford to drop points. Let's be honest, because Daniel's put it in the chat as well. He's getting fed up with Liam Delap. I'm getting fed up with Liam Delap. I'm getting fed up with Liam Delap. He's not good enough. He just wants to go on the pitch and scrap and have fights and kick off, and he holds up the ball every now and again. But I think I said this last weekend. I can't think of a game where Liam Delap he's not stayed in my mind. I've not thought, wow, you know, Liam Delap ran the show, or he done well, or he's performing really, really well. There's not been a game where I thought Liam Delap is the one that's going to get us through this game. He's going to score that vital, the pivotal goal. I don't see that from Liam Delap, and I don't see it from João Pedro. And like Daniel's saying in the chat here, spending £2 billion and still fighting for top 4 is not good enough for Chelsea Football Club. Some of it's down to the recruitment, but some of it is just basic stuff from the manager, the coaches, and the players. Let's not put the play. Let's get onto the players. Let's get onto the players, because I think people need to see this. People need to see this. Because this is mental. This is mental. This is the first goal. This is the first goal. This is off the corner. Is it Bijol? I think he scores the first goal. You might not be able to see it on screen, but hopefully you can. This is Jamie Gittins here. So Jamie Gittins is here. Here's your goal scorer, right? So actually, to be fair, in that position before the ball's been kicked, you would think Jamie Gittins is comfortable enough to deal with that ball. But he doesn't deal with it. Somehow, he stops the run. He's timed the run. In the first frame I just showed you, he times the run well. He allows him to just run off him, get the flick on. But then the problem that I find with Chelsea is that, I don't know if I can zoom this in a little bit. I don't think I can. But the problem that I find with Chelsea is that, look at this. It's no wonder Sanchez ain't saving that. You've got 1, 2, 3, 4. Let's add Cucurella in there. 5 players in front of the goalkeeper. So he's not seeing that ball until very, very late on. Very late on. It's poor. It's poor football. Poor football. This is another opportunity. They've already scored a goal, but it's the same set piece, same everything again. Same. They got, I think it's Tanaka on the edge of the box there. The worrying thing about this corner, and again, I can't show the actual YouTube, the clip, because they'll just take the videos down, but it's Andre Santos at the back here. And I don't know if I've got it in the next frame. Andre Santos, I haven't got it, but Andre Santos, during this frame here, they nearly score off this. And I think this is, I think that's Calvert-Lewin at the back. He's not even looking at the ball. If you go back, again, I can't show it, but go back on YouTube, watch these clips here. It's like a 3-minute video of Sky Sports. This clip here, Andre Santos is not even looking at the ball. At any point, he's more concerned about number 9, Calvert-Lewin, I think it is, if he scores. Go and watch the clip. He doesn't even look. So the ball comes down to Calvert-Lewin, and Santos is watching Calvert-Lewin. Now, I don't know what part of defending that is, that you're not even looking at the ball. Because you can't anticipate when that ball's going to land, and you can't. You have to have your eye, yes, on the player, goal side of the player, but you've got to be watching the ball as well. Because if you're not watching the ball, what are you defending? Please go and watch this clip. I can't show you the actual YouTube video, but please go and watch this clip. Please. You'll see what I mean. Defending at the lowest standards of a club that spent £2 billion. It's poor defending. It's absolutely poor defending. And how they didn't score from this one, I don't even know. But these two goals now, these next two goals, genuinely, my son plays defense. And I can tell you from now, first of all, there's my biggest mistake here is this. That gap there between what looks like either Tosin or Chalobah and Cucurella, I'd say it's Tosin more so than Chalobah, but that gap there, that space is nuts. It's nuts. Cucurella has to close that space down a little bit, because if he does that, because you'll see in a second why, if he does that, well, two things. If he does it, first of all, that ball's going to come out here now. I think it's to Tanaka, because Tanaka just receives the ball, he just shoots. It's not a problem for him. I'm guessing that's Santos there. I haven't got my glasses on, so I can't actually see who these players are. That's his first point of call. Forget this player here. Forget this player here, because he can cover him. Tosin can cover matey boy here. And if Cucurella closes his space down here, that goal does not happen 100%. Cucurella has to close this space down here, close this gap down, pick him up. Tosin picks him up. He needs to drive out to this player here. He has to drive out and close that space down. Close the space down. This is why they scored the goal. This is stuff that I could teach my son this. He's going to be 8 in a couple of months. These are the things that they're teaching 8-year-olds. This is not hard. This is not hard to coach. Close that space down. You pick him up, and you close the space down. Recycle the ball, counter press. It's basic stuff. It's absolutely basic defending. It's not hard. No one's asking. Because now look, this is the second frame. So the ball's now gone to Tanaka. Cucurella still hasn't moved from the position that he was in. He's still there. The gap's still there. They've closed it by a couple of meters. Oh, unmarked. You've got 2 runners coming in. So even if there's a rebound, a deflection from Sanchez, you've got 2 players ready to run in. This is why Leeds scored, and I'm going to show you the third goal and tell you why they played so well and why we were so bad defensively. Tanaka shoots that, Sanchez parries it out. You've got 2 runners coming in already. Cucurella is not getting to that ball. He's not getting there. If that ball comes out towards one of these Leeds players, he's not making up the ground there. Tosin is still static. Again, not really alert of what's going on. It shouldn't happen. Basic defending. This goal, I'm going to be honest. I've got to be honest. I can't believe it. The reason I froze this frame is because, well, 2 things. One, look at the, this is Cole Palmer. Cole Palmer's here. Now, he's either thinking, I don't know what Cole Palmer's looking at. I think, personally, him and Neto are thinking Gusto is just going to lump this ball forward. Because you can almost see Neto and the Leeds player here, they're thinking the same thing. They're thinking Gusto's not stupid enough to play that ball to Enzo or to play it to Tosin. He's going to lump this ball forward. I got to be on my toes. You can see. Number 44, he's already ready to have that 1v1 with Pedro Neto. Cole Palmer, again, go and watch the YouTube video, but it looks like he's ready to make the run over the top. Because that's the ball. That's the ball. Enzo is thinking exactly the same thing. Because Enzo here, he's not even looking at he's not expecting the ball. He's looking over his shoulder. What 2 things? He's looking over his shoulder, because I actually think he thinks, right, Neto is on. Because he doesn't need to check his shoulder, because he would have checked his shoulder. He knows that there's no one around him at that point. Gusto has to put his foot through that ball. Gusto has to put his foot through that ball. He doesn't expect the pass, Enzo. Unfortunately, he does get the pass. And look how quick Leeds break on him. He's 2v1. That pass was never on. Because now look, again, Cole Palmer realises that ball hasn't come over the top. Neto's still thinking, if Enzo can get on the half turn, he's waiting. Neto's just waiting. He's waiting for the ball. He wants to run with the ball forward. Cole Palmer's dropped back into the space because now Cole Palmer's antennas have pringed up and he's thinking that ball ain't coming over the top. Enzo Gusto, the right ball at that time was Tosin. At that time, before this frame. The problem is, as it plays on, Enzo is under pressure. He can't turn. He now knows he can't turn because now he knows there's 2 Leeds players coming onto him. So the only option he has is to go back. That's his only option. Option here or option here. And to be honest, that ain't the option because Leeds players blocking off the pass to Tosin. He has to go back to Gusto. Gusto has to again, which is why Neto's still waiting there, has to lump that ball forward. This is never going to be the pass. Ever. And again, I hate to be the guy that keeps saying the teaching is to 8-year-olds. They tell you never to go back, never go across your box. Ever. Unless you can help it. They tell you at 8 years of age, do not play the ball across your penalty box. Basic stuff. Basic stuff. Grassroots football. Under 8s. Under 5s. Do not play the ball across your box. Because of 2 things. This is Chalobah here. And here is Calvert-Lewin. Now Chalobah, right side, he's on the right side. He's on goal side. He's right. He's doing defending well. But notice something about Chalobah on the second in the next frame. Because this is Chalobah. Here's Calvert-Lewin. Right here. I just want to show you guys something. Just so you know that this is some of these things that are either not working on the training ground or it is just they're not good enough. And like Daniel's saying in the chat, Badiashile and Tosin are not good enough. They're not. They're not good enough because look. But then I have to look at Trevor Chalobah. We can't even blame him at this point. He's back in his natural centre back position. But look what's happened here already. He knows Calvert-Lewin is doing what any striker should do. Any striker. Now the press is on. Gusto's played it back to Tosin. Now at this point again, lump the ball forward. Just lump the ball forward. It's easier said than done. You're in a pressurized environment, but you're getting paid thousands of pounds a week. You're a professional footballer. This is not new. You haven't just turned up with a fresh pair of boots and it's your first game of football. You're a professional footballer. You signed a professional contract. It's your job. It's what you do every single day of the week. You're a professional footballer. But look at Chalobah. Hasn't moved. He's watching the game with us as a fan. He hasn't moved. You've got to follow the run. Chalobah has to follow this run. Chalobah has to start thinking about, right, I have to match Calvert-Lewin because Calvert-Lewin is doing exactly what every striker in that position should do. Anticipate. Again, they teach you that at 8 years old. Anticipate the ball is going to come back to you. He's in the right space. Problem is Chalobah hasn't matched the run. Tosin, I don't know what you're thinking or what you're smoking or what drugs you're on or what you've been doing in the last 7 days, but that is not the pass. That is not the pass. Like, in what world do you make that pass? Sanchez can't pick the ball up. The space between Calvert-Lewin and Sanchez is so small. He hasn't even got time to work his feet out. He can't pick the ball up. That's not the pass. But what the most annoying part about this is Tosin and Chalobah hasn't moved. And guess what? even when the goal goes in, which goes in afterwards, look, second frame, still there, hasn't moved. He hasn't even moved like a centimetre. But look at the gap now between Calvert-Lewin and Chalobah. It's simple. I know it sounds stupid, and I know it sounds basic, but it's basic stuff. It's absolutely basic stuff that I, honest to God, they teach you at grassroots level. That third goal that they scored sums up why you can't change the backline at Chelsea Football Club, because the quality that we take out of that team is not the quality that we pump back into the team. It's not the same level. It's not the same level of quality. There's a lot of talk about Reece James. He can't play every week. He can't play week in, week out. Fair enough. He can't play week in, week out. Fair enough. But then we need to go and find someone that can play week in, week out in that position then, or drop him into midfield. We can't have Badiashile and Tosin and Chalobah all on the pitch at the same time. You can't have Tosin and Chalobah. Wesley Fofana's there. There has to be. I get it. We're trying to manage minutes and whatever, but if you want to win a Premier League, and these lot, I keep saying, they're professional Premier League footballers. Can you imagine me turning up to your job 3 days out of the week, and then you get 2 days off because they just want to rest you and road? It doesn't. No, you turn up every single game. I don't want to hit, like, you could rest and rotate and still pick up an injury. So I generally don't get this idea of we have to manage minutes. Managing minutes is now coming at the cost of our team winning games. You could rest Reece James and give him two out of 3 games to rest and play him in the third. You could pick up a bad injury in that third game anyway. So what are you gaining by resting him all the time? It's poor. That's probably one of the worst games. I know I say this quite often, but that's one of the worst games under Todd Bowley blue coat era that I've watched of Chelsea. It's unimaginable. It's unimaginable. All three goals were avoidable goals. We didn't even need to do that. We didn't even need to put ourselves under any of that pressure at all. I can't understand at what point do you think, right, I've got 3 right backs on the bench, I better start one. No, I'll put a centre back there. When has that ever worked for us? When has it ever worked for us? It's never worked for us. It's mental. It's absolutely criminal. It's criminal. It's criminal. It's borderline mental. It's mental. Everyone's talking about losing Caicedo. Fair enough. Big loss. Played 50 out of 51 games. It's tough. I get it. But you can't rely on one player. You can't rely on one player. I'm sorry. That doesn't work for me. I don't want to hear that. I don't want to hear that. I'm sorry. I don't want to hear that. More has to be done. More has to be done. I want to see more from this team tomorrow. Bournemouth Vitality Stadium. I need to see more from this team. Let's talk about the press conference from today. Earlier on this morning, there doesn't seem to be any more injury news. Lavia, they still don't know how long. The thing with Lavia is, how do you not know how long he's out for? I mean, is it a long-term muscular injury? Is it a small one? Surely he must have been. I always find, especially even a Cole Palmer thing, like, it's very vague, very, very vague. Either he's out for a very long time. Are we not paying our physios and medical staff enough to determine how long a player's going to be out for? Like, you must know already. He's been out for a couple of weeks, couple of games. We must know if it's long-term or short-term, surely. Because, again, he would have been a better option against someone like Leeds, where you can play him in, and then maybe... I mean, me personally, I would have put Gusto at right back on Wednesday night, but Maresca obviously feels differently. And it's interesting as well because they asked Maresca in the press conference, which I find really, and maybe this is like a normal thing for Chelsea, but they asked him. He said he responded to one of the questions and said that he hasn't seen the players since the Leeds game. Bearing in mind that was Wednesday, he said that he stayed up there. Now I don't know if he means the whole players, the playing staff, and him, but he said that he stayed up there and he rewatched the game, and he's only come back yesterday afternoon, so he hasn't seen any of the players. So it sounds like the players returned yesterday as well. They're having a session today, and then the match is tomorrow. And I just think between that space of time, you've almost lost a training session in there. Of course, the players need to recover and recuperate, but even doing analysis work with them, maybe that's what they were all doing. But he says he hasn't seen them since the Leeds game, so I'm taking that for he hasn't literally seen them. Now, if he hasn't seen the players, then again, that tells me there's something not right between manager and players at the moment. And I watched his press conference, and he didn't seem. He seemed annoyed off the back of that result, of course. But this was interesting. He said, one of the regrets I have after the Leeds game is that I didn't play with Josh. The reason why we played with Trevor, Benoit and Tosin was because we saw long balls to their strikers. But even that, we lost most of them. That's because you've got Trevor Chalobah as a right back. You've got Tosin and Badiashile, who always look switched off. I've never seen a centre back look so more switched off. It's just mental. Big up Lucky Singh in the chat, saying it's not the manager's fault at all. Yeah, I'm not saying we need to sack Maresca, Lucky Singh, at all. What I'm saying is he has to get things right. If you're going to play a team like Leeds, who are very physical, and they're playing wing backs, you don't put your centre back there. You've got 3 right backs on the bench. Pick one. If it's not Reece James because you want to rest him, you still got Josh Ashiampong, who you know can do a job. He can do a job. You know he can do a job at right back. Or you play Malagusto. But you got to pick one of your right backs. You got to set your team up to win the game. If you're not going to set your team up to win the game, then of course the manager's going to come under a lot of scrutiny for that. So I don't think I don't know, majority of Chelsea fans that want him sacked, but they definitely have to question his mentality. And even he's saying it himself, Lucky Singh. He's saying, I made regrets in that game. So I think Chelsea fans are well within their rights to question it. And for him to come out in the press conference this morning and say, I should have played Josh rather than Trevor at right back, he's telling us what we all knew anyway. So we were right to question it. He says here that Bournemouth will be a similar game to Leeds. This is why we need to be better. Leeds was very intense and were better than us. I don't think they were. I generally, maybe I'm blinkers on, but I honestly don't think Leeds are that much better than us. We just gifted goals. 3 goals. We gifted the goals. We gifted the goals to them. Mental. There was a couple of interesting things I wanted to pick out in here. More so around Tosin as well. Yeah. There was a bit on Tosin on here somewhere. They were asking him about experience in the team, and yeah, I think he said that basically they were talking about the young squad. It was around sort of this bit here in the press conference. They were talking about the squad, and he was basically saying that it doesn't mean because you've got experienced players that you win games. And I agree with that. You need quality with experience. And Tosin has the experience to an extent. He's a bit older. I wouldn't even say he's got experience. I just think he's one of the wiser heads in the team. But he hasn't got the quality. He hasn't got the brain. I've just showed you the clips. He hasn't got the brain, the mentality to play the way that we need him to play in this game. He hasn't got the quality. And this is where you go and get yourself a Thiago Silva, a Bastoni, or someone of that level, that quality, who's been up there, a good seasoned centre-back, who's been there, done it, played at the highest level, got international caps, played in Champions League, understands what it means, got the mentality. You need a player like that in the team. And Tosin is not that player. Yes, he might have played a few more games than some of the younger players in the team, but that doesn't mean anything. That doesn't mean anything. You've got to have players that can control games, be assertive, be calm under pressure, not pass the ball back to the goalkeeper that's already going to put him under pressure, to allow Calvert-Lewin, of all players, Calvert-Lewin to score a goal. That can't be right. That can't be right at all. That's where the problem is. That's where our problem is. Yeah, here we go. Look. Here we go. Who was the most experienced player for us in the week? Tosin. Did he play good? So it's not about experience. And he's right here as well. We're always talking about experience when we've dropped points, but when we beat Barcelona and we drew with Arsenal, no one is talking about experienced players. So it wasn't the reason. The reason is we don't have the quality, and Maresca knows that. That's Maresca telling the press, telling Chelsea fans, he doesn't believe in his centre backs. He doesn't believe in them. He doesn't believe in them. Disasi is, I don't know if anyone got to see, Disasi got skinned for the under-21s against PSG. Skinned. We've got this. I'm going to say it again. We've got Disasi playing development football. Development football. If that doesn't tell you that we need centre-backs at this football club, I don't know what to tell you guys, but we need centre-backs. We need a centre-back. We need someone that is going to be able to take this team forward and do what they need to do with it, because we won't win anything. We're not going to win anything when we've got players like Disasi, Badiashile, Tosin. You know, I'd even play João Neto. I'd even put João Neto. I'd even put him. If you want to mix things up, I'd put him as a left centre-back before I even talk about Trevor Chalobah and Disasi starting a game, or Badiashile starting a game again. I'd even put João Neto as the left-sided centre-back. Or you put Wesley Fofana, Josh Achiampong as a right centre-back with Reece James. That has to be the go-to, because those two bozos between the two of them, and I'm sorry, Trevor Chalobah, I praised him last week. I praised him last week and said he's actually, you know, he understands what it means to play for the club. But again, that's not the be all and end all. Yeah, you might know what it means to come through the ranks at Chelsea, but you still need to be good and have quality about you. You can't just suddenly turn up and think that that's it. It's mental. Absolutely mental. Bournemouth. Let's talk Bournemouth. Let's keep on the Bournemouth before I go back down the Leeds rabbit hole. We've got to, let's get our lineup up. Let's see what we're gonna do with the predicted lineup, because we have to get the lineup has to be right now. Of course, this is our lineup that we went with against Leeds, and as I've just said, there's no way this is happening. Daniel in the chat saying if the recruitment team needs to be called out and been shocking for free. Yeah, they do. The recruitment team as well. Everything. And I don't want to say they've been awful, because they haven't been awful. I don't think they've been as awful as they could have been. I think they could have got a lot. They could have got a lot of things wrong. They've got a lot of things wrong, but they could have got a lot more wrong. A lot more wrong. So, yeah, but they have to be called out because they're not good enough. Now, let's leave Chalobah here for a minute. We have to bring back Reece James. We have to bring back Cole Palmer. Let's bring on Pedro Neto here. Let's throw Achiampong, Fofana, Gusto. We know that Buonanotte is not playing. I think that's already been confirmed. Let's see what we can make with this team, because we have to do something different. Now, personally for me, the last two games where I've been excited watching Chelsea Football Club as when Barcelona and Arsenal. I keep talking about consistency at this football club. And if we don't get any consistent football, I think we're going to struggle. I have to eat my words slightly, but what I'm going to do, I'm going to start with Sanchez, of course, in goal, as always. Reece James, I'm going to throw into here. I think Santos needs to come out. I think Enzo and James in the midfield. We can't drop any more points. And I think Santos, for me, in a game like this, I don't think he's going to be able to cope with the physicality of Adams and Scott in the midfield. Um, Daniel saying Chalobah and Fofana in the centre back roles. I mean, it's not a bad shout. It's not a bad shout. I do question whether we see Josh Achiempong come into this team. He was referenced a lot in the press conference, but I keep talking about consistency, and I don't think you're going to win anything without a consistent backline at all. Um, Daniel, I agree with you. Gusto has to be at right back. I think he's improved over the last Barcelona game. Even I think in the Club World Cup, I think he played there. Some of the games, I'm sure he played there at right back. Fofana, for me, has to come back into the team. Cucurella I definitely would start, but I do worry that again he's going to be one of those players that if we're not careful, we will just run into the ground, and that's why we did bring Gerard Heto in. But this is a must-win game for us, and I know it sounds stupid, but we can't slip up and drop points tomorrow. So Cucurella at left back, Reece James and Enzo Fernandez for me in midfield. I think they're the two. I think Esteval. There's a big one with Esteval because I think a lot of Chelsea fans after the game, why would I rotate my centre backs? For the simple reason, I generally don't know where Trevor Chalobah's head's at. I just showed you a clip where he doesn't even match the run of Calvert-Lewin. To me, that's basic defending. That is basic defending. If you can't do that element of defending, I have to start questioning you as a centre back. He literally, please, if you haven't watched it, go on YouTube, literally type in Leeds versus Chelsea 3-minute video, Sky Sports. You'll see the third goal. Trevor Chalobah literally stands still like a statue. Doesn't move, doesn't anticipate. It's basic things. Bournemouth will get chances. I'm going to say that from now. They will get chances. They might not be scoring a lot of goals or they might not be winning many games. They are going to get chances tomorrow. Chalobah has to be switched on. That's my only justification why I'm questioning whether he comes in and it comes out and Achiempong comes in. Because I think Achiempong is a very cool character. My worry with doing that is I think you would have to have Reece James alongside him to play him as a right centre-back. If we're going to play Gusto, I think you have to have Chalobah there because I think there's a bit more consistency and cohesion and understanding between the two of those than there would be with Achiempong. So that's my reasoning for that. But we're leaving Chalobah in for now. James and Fernandez in the two in the midfield. Esteval, again, didn't have the best of games against Arsenal, didn't have the best of games against Leeds. And again, my worry, and I think I said this in the Leeds game as well, I didn't change it, but I did reference it, was that Semenyo, he's gonna be the guy, isn't he? He's the killer for Bournemouth. Very, very good with the ball. My worry with Esteval, not that he's been found out, because I still think he's one of the best players, and I'm sick of hearing the fact that we need to manage his minutes or we have to protect him. And all. He's 18 years of age. He's not 8. He's 18 years of age. He's playing at Barcelona. He's at Brazil. Sorry, he's playing at Brazil's national team for Carlo Ancelotti. He's scoring goals. I don't think there's much more you need to protect this guy from. Let's respect him for what he is. He's a good player. He's a top player. And as I keep saying, if you don't play him, you're going to lose him. You're going to lose him. But what I would do for this game, because I think he'd be more effective coming off the bench, is would I start him? Definitely not starting him. You can get out of here. I think Palmer comes back in at the 10. I think Palmer has to start this game. I think I'd do this. Now, I'm not a big fan of Garnacho over Gittins, and I think Gittins, again, lovely assist. I think he got the assist as well. What game was it now? A couple of weeks ago, he got another assist. He needed the Neto goal, the header from Neto. But Garnacho for me, and again, I'm thinking Bournemouth, how they like to overload the wide areas. I think Garnacho is going to have to do a lot of tracking back as well. Neto for me has to play on this side of the pitch. Either or, but I think I'd rather see him helping out Augusto with a Semenyo, with the attacks from Semenyo. I think Neto And again, you can swap Garnacho and Neto over. I think Cole Palmer has to come back into this team. He has to be in the team. Yeah, I don't know. I don't know. What do you think, chat? What do you think so far? Let's just do the complete squad. I generally don't know about Liam Delap. What's the chat saying? Yeah, Daniel saying he dropped Liam Delap. Chalobah doesn't play well with Tosin. Yep, we've definitely confirmed that one. Yeah, I don't know. What do we think in the chat with strikers? What do we reckon? Is this the time where we see Mark Gui? Does he get an opportunity? My worry with Liam Delap is I don't. Again, I said it at the very start of this. I don't see where like what does he do in terms of. I don't know. I generally the 10 with João Pedro in the 10 and Liam Delap as the 9, that isn't working. So something has to change there. Something has to change there. Now there's another option, and I hope Maresca doesn't do this, because I feel like Maresca's not confident with João Pedro, not confident with Liam Delap. There is another option. Do you play Neto as the 9? And do you bring Gittins in here? Now, I don't think he will do this. I hope he doesn't do this. And I'd be surprised, because he's going to have to play one of João Pedro or Liam Delap. But there is this option. But again, I think we need Neto on the wider areas. I think he'll go with Liam Delap. Yeah, Daniel saying he doesn't rate any of them. I don't think many Chelsea fans rate Delap or João Pedro, and they're well within our rights too, because I don't think either of them are good enough to win us a Premier League. I said it at the start of the season. They're not going to win us a Premier League, and they're already showing signs. Like you can see why 5 of João Pedro's 10 goals last season were penalties, because he's frustrating. Him and what's his name from Everton, Tinamo Barry. They remind me of the same player. They're so frustrating to watch. It was like against Arsenal. The amount of times João Pedro had the ball and he can score a goal. He could finish this game off for us, and he just takes too many touches. But Liam Delap, I don't see enough of him. I don't see enough of what he's gonna do, and bring forward for us. But the players here, they're gonna have to play high up against Bournemouth. They're going to have to. I think we'll see the usual, as I do most weeks on here. The high line, which is very, very dangerous against a Bournemouth team, because, as I said, Kluivert, Krupi as well. They've got the 2 in the midfield, Scott and Adams, who are very good. They're very, very good, actually. That worries me a little bit. That does worry me a little bit. If we get caught out, it worries me. One thing we need to do against this Bournemouth team is just flipping defend. Just defend. Not asking for miracles. We're asking you to defend well. Cole Palmer, you're gonna have to do well. I want to see something from Cole Palmer, because a lot of Chelsea fans are saying to me that Cole Palmer just walks back into the team. I'm not saying he's not a good player. I'm not saying that he's not on the cusp of world class. He was in the Ballon d'Or conversation. I get it. But I need to see it as well. I don't want to just have the conversation about it. I need to see it as well. I need to see you playing the football that we know you can play. That's all I'm asking for. I want Cole Palmer to turn up. The Cole Palmer that was scoring 4 goals in the first half of a match. The player that was able to just take the ball and hit it and it would go in the back of the net. That's the Cole Palmer I want to see. Because Esteval's waiting. This is a team that if it was my preferred lineup, if I'm being 110% honest with everyone, I wouldn't even have Garnacho in the team. I'd have Esteval. Cole Palmer and Esteval, that to me is the linkage that we need up front in our attack. My worry with that is I don't know how well Esteval's going to do when you're expected to track back, you're going to have to do a lot of tracking back to help out with Semenyo. I don't know how he's going to cope with that. He didn't cope well with it against Leeds. So that's my worry. And I feel like Maresca does want to manage his minutes and keep him out the limelight. So yeah, I don't know. I don't know how it's going to work out, but we need to get a result. But that would be my lineup. That's what I would go with. I would have I think I would have Esteval in the team. I'm gonna take back my words. I would have Esteval in the team. Play your strongest team. Esteval for me is a player that has to start games. He has to start games. Liam Delap, questionable, but the best of a bad situation in terms of him and João Pedro. I think he gets the nod above him. Interestingly, Petrovic hasn't been playing well. For Bournemouth. Conceded a lot of goals recently. Let's cause the misery that we should have caused on Wednesday night to Bournemouth. As I said, we can't afford to drop points. We just can't. It can't happen. It can't be a thing. It can't be a thing. Cannot be a thing. Daniel's asking what the record is for Chelsea versus Bournemouth. Let's have a look at that before we wrap up. I think at the vitality, I think we've actually got a half decent. Let's have a look. I feel like we got a half decent record there. Let's have a look. It's an interesting one. We did win there last year. Drew there the following December 2023, May 2023. So they haven't beat us there since January 2019. Which doesn't count for anything, to be fair. I mean, they could go out there and smash us 3-1 like Leeds did. But, I said it before, I'm going to say it again. These are the games where you have to dig deep and get the result. You have to dig deep and get the result. You have to get the result. It's as simple as that. You have to get the result. Forget about looking at the league table at the moment. Let's just get the results. Because the league's going to work out itself. If we just continue winning, that's all that matters. That's all that matters for us. Continue winning the games, get the performances, build up the momentum. That's how you win the Premier League. Let's stop looking at the table. Daniel's going 1-1. Yep, I agree. There's a lack of confidence, I think, amongst the team as well. But I think we'll win. I don't think it'd be easy. I don't think it'd be a straightforward game, but I think we will get the result. I think it'd be 2-1 Chelsea. I don't think we'll keep a clean sheet. It'd be interesting how Maresca lines up. No Caicedo again, which I think was a massive loss against Leeds. But again, you can't build your team just around Caicedo. We have enough amongst us with Santos, James, Enzo Fernandez can play there as well. You could even throw Joshua Chimpong in that midfield if you really needed to. Yeah, I can't have it. I'm not having that as an excuse. There is enough quality in this team that should have beat Leeds on Wednesday to beat Bournemouth tomorrow. We're going to be here over the weekend for the match reaction to the game. Like I said, make sure you subscribe. If you haven't done so already, hit the notification bell. All of that good stuff. And until then, we're going to be back soon. Enjoy your weekend when you get to it. Let's hope for 3 points. Let's hope for a stress-free Saturday. Enjoy your weekend. We'll be back soon.